Yes.
Councilman Johnston.
Yes.
Councilman Brenning.
Yes.
Councilman Hanson.
Yes.
Councilman Frederick.
Yes.
Okay, now moving on to 1. Consideration of resolution number 2009-16 entitled Resolution Finally Approving and Confirming Plans, Specifications, Form of Contract, and Estimate of Cost for the Sanitary Sewer Lining Improvements Project. Any discussion or questions on item number 1?
This is similar to what we did with the plan.
Yeah, we got questions, we wait till number 2, don't we?
Correct.
About the bid.
Okay. Item number 2. We have to approve it by a motion and a second. Item number 1.
Move the resolution to.
Is there a second?
Second done.
Call for a vote.
Councilman Johnston.
Yes.
Councilman Muscat.
Yes.
Councilman Hanson.
Yes.
Councilman Frederick.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Number 2 is discussion of bids for sanitary sewer lining improvements project, and Darren is here to speak to us on that. Go ahead, Darren. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. As you know, last Thursday at 2 p.m. we took bids on lining the sewer roughly up to the south end of 11th Street and turning to west on Gishwiller about to 12th and a little past. And our low bidder was Municipal Pipe Tool Company from Hudson, Iowa, over by Cedar Falls. The engineer's estimate on the base bid was $241,266, and Municipal Pipe Tool bid $156,000. So it proves to be a really, really excellent time to take bids on things like this. And I would open up to answer any questions you might have.
Why don't you explain the alternates for me?
Yeah, I have a trouble with that alternate.
The alternates were actually an application to item number 9, which is rehabilitating manholes. And those alternates are actually different alternative methods for redoing the manholes. And what it amounts to is we took bids on what we think is the best method,
Okay.
but not the only one. We then asked them for a deduct to do the manhole rehab using item A, B, and C.
Are they either or? Either
yeah,
A, B, or C?
Probably would be.
Okay.
Now, the way I think that we would want to look at this is when we go out and actually look at them in the field, we would make the determination if it's base bid or if A, B, or C are a better fit. Based on what it really looks like in the world.
So you're basing that on a case-by-case basis?
On a case-by-case basis, that's correct.
That would go with who would be awarded to for the lowest bidder. We'd have to go with the same.
Yes, and in the specifications, it was clearly stated that the bid would be determined based on the base bid, and the alternates would only go into effect if you needed them in the field later. And at this point, the base bid low is Municipal Pipe Tool Company, and they look like they have a bid that is complete. It is, and I do need to note that we are reading these under advisement because the two low bidders, VisuClean and Municipal Pipe Tool, both did not complete their DBE form, their Disadvantaged Business Enterprise form, properly. Working with Colin, we determined that we would contact both of them and get the form completed properly. That's not really enough to consider them unresponsive, as the reason it wasn't filled out, they didn't have anybody to put in the DBE form. But Colin advised that we have them fill it out. Basically it says Municipal Pipe Tool Company and NA for those contacted, and both of them have done that. So both of them are considered, in my view, and I believe in Colin's, to be responsive bidders.
Have you worked with either one of these guys?
I have. I've worked with all three of them on here, and they're all three very capable.
And this is doing 79 manholes?
This would be doing, yes, 79 manholes. And the only issue at this point in time would be in view of the $19 a foot bid price, we turned and went up Gishwiller to the west to 12th Street, and I know one of your targets, kind of a secondary one, was up in front of the Aquatic Center. We thought we were going to run out of money, so we didn't do in front of the Aquatic Center. But it may be something to consider with the prices you have to go that extra block.
I still have these.
Oh, excellent.
I've got the other one.
Excellent. Let's see. That one probably is for the next project. And that's not actually a decision you have to make here tonight. You can award and do that at some other point in time.
Just looking at your estimate though, like for the post-televising of the sewers, the others are substantially lower than what you were estimating.
Yes.
However, what I find kind of odd is that removal and replacement of the manhole covers, you have an estimate of 37, and they're substantially higher.
Yep.
I mean, that's...
That definitely happens, and the reason it happens is these guys frequently move money around in their bid to try to, particularly if they want to generate money early in a project, it's called front-end loading the project. And it's very common to have very expensive dirt work and very cheap roof work, for example, and they move it around to try to generate that cash. Our numbers typically come off of a very large data bank that we have. We watch bidding all over the place and try to tailor our numbers to that.
But why would you think that there's $30,000 less on your estimate for the post-televising? I mean, $30,000 is a substantial amount of money.
Yes, it is. They must have got a good deal on televising it.
I mean, and every one seems to be relatively close.
Yeah.
In the 70, 72, 76,000, but your estimate being 104. I mean, what are they?
Our estimate for post-televising was 11,373.
I'm sorry.
And
the minor.
But you're right. They were. If you're.
But at 11,000, even at 11,000, they're at $2,800.
Yep.
Well, it probably depends on if they own their own cameras or not, or if they're subbing to that.
Well, it does. That's definitely a reason. I would call that a really good deal.
And I see the pipe. Yeah, the pipe is what we were talking about before, the $19 per foot.
Pipe had been running something in the neighborhood of $28, and you can see that on Thursday, pretty well they all figured out that it was about $20 worth per foot.
Well,
and that's good.
That's good, but with what I'm dealing with within steel and stuff like that, that's good now. But what's going on in the next 6 months? I mean, that's.
But they'll buy it out once you get a order.
Right.
They buy it.
And it really doesn't affect you folks, because once you put them under contract,
it's done. It's locked in.
It's done. It's done.
And they had to agree to hold these bids for 90 days?
This one was 60 days.
60 days, I'm sorry.
So you need to award prior to 60 days, which we don't foresee a problem with that, as long as everyone's on.
What I like about it too, especially there's two of them right within $3,000.
Yeah.
They're close. Right.
They're bidding
Yeah.
close.
Right.
So can you explain a little bit of the difference between, say, A and B and C down here?
Yeah. A is that there's a method that you can rehabilitate manholes. Basically, they go in and they put a form in the manhole, and they put a concrete jacket around the form, and then they pull the form out. B is roughly the same kind of method, except that instead of forming it, they basically splatter it on the walls, centrifugal cast.
Sure.
And C, all C did was allow us to replace manhole covers where we don't want to pull out the whole frame. Like if it's in the middle of a street and we say, hey, the frame looks good, all we want to do is drop a new cover in, done. And we get a deduct for doing that instead of taking the whole cover apart.
So Bob, is there any method that you would prefer them to do? Bob, I don't even see that.
They're both good. The ones we've had is like Darren said.
Centrifugal?
Sprayed, yeah, centrifugal. Is the ones that's through the ball diamonds, the fairgrounds. That's the way those are done.
What was the base, Bill? What was that based on?
The base bid was actually epoxy material that has a little better, we think, a little better lifespan.